Tom f***ing Cruise, man! Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to talk to you about the latest installment in the action franchise that just gets bigger and better with each new entry, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do. Please leave a like, it helps me out with the algorithm so I can reach a bigger audience. Subscribe, and ring the bell so that you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. Dead Reckoning Part 1 reunites Tom Cruise's constantly on the run Ethan Hunt with his team from the last few films, including Ving Rhames' Luther, Simon Pegg's Benji, and Rebecca Ferguson's Ilsa, while bringing back Alana, played by Vanessa Kirby from the last film, for a small but pivotal role. This time, the team is on a race against the clock to find the two halves of a key that has the capability of controlling or destroying a rogue AI known as the Entity, that poses a major threat to not just each member of the IMF team, but the entire world.
Well, we're boned.
It sounds silly to have AI as the main villain of a movie, but not only is this written in a very believable and socially relevant way, but they also complement that AI villain with a smooth-talking, sadistic man that has a connection to Ethan's past and really ups the stakes. And that's Isai Morales' Gabriel, who is joined by a quiet, psychotic, and surprisingly terrifying assassin, Paris, played by Palm Clementieff, Mantis from the Guardians movies. She plays literally the opposite role here, and she's fantastic. Between those two and the Entity, they just make everything way worse for Ethan and his team. It also doesn't help that while trying to find one half of the key, it's intercepted by international thief Grace, played by Hayley Atwell, who becomes a reluctant part of the team and goes along for the ride while the team goes to save the world. Again.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Tom f***ing Cruise, man! I know I said that in the beginning, but holy shit. Between the jaw-dropping Mission Impossible Fallout, last year's incredible Top Gun Maverick, and now this, in my opinion, Cruise is one of the main pillars of Hollywood that's keeping it afloat right now.
The man of focus, commitment, and sheer will.
The man's sheer dedication to the craft of filmmaking and stunt work truly go above and beyond in adding real, adrenaline-pumping action sequences in these films, way more than a 90% CGI film ever could. Car chases are breathtaking, fight scenes are hard-hitting, and the big stunt action set pieces look and feel real, way more real than anything in Hollywood nowadays. Because they actually are. Yes, CGI is used sparingly for larger-than-life effects, cleanup, and certain limitations that were caused by the pandemic, but it's hardly ever noticeable and is thankfully the exception to the action in this film, not the rule. For most big action blockbusters nowadays, everything is so CGI'd and weightless that you're lucky if you feel any real punch during any of the action scenes, and you're even more lucky if you get a fraction of emotional weight or characterization outside of those action scenes. Just look at Dial of Destiny for a perfect example of that. Actually, this movie kind of feels like the anti-Indiana Jones 5. But I'll explain that later. Anyway, you're lucky if you get any actual punch, emotional weight, or characterization during half the action films that come out nowadays. But to have all of that and to have an abundance of it is really incredible. But that's what Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 pulls off.
I can't believe they pulled it off.
This movie fully draws you into every single action scene, and when it's not doing that, it's bringing you along for the emotional ride with these characters that we learn more and more about with every single film. Characters that grow and change as the franchise does, and just get better and better with each new entry. We laugh, we gasp, our hearts pump in our chests, and we even shed a tear here and there, because these movies know exactly what works best about the best types of action films, and pushes it as far as they can when improving on every single character whenever they get the chance.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Ethan is likable and heroic as ever, Benji and Luther are loyal and provide plenty of funny one-liners, Ilsa is sexy and badass as ever, and they all get at least one moment to deliver some emotion or something really tense in an action scene. Newcomer Hayley Atwell also fits like a glove into this franchise, and she's actually the thing that's going to segue me back into how this movie is the anti-Indiana Jones 5.
Don't get him started.
I talked at length in my review about how the action scenes in Dial of Destiny are way too CGI and green screen heavy. Not only are the action scenes here real and believable, but this film also features a legacy hero. I know it doesn't seem like it, but remember, these movies came out in the 90s, and instead of putting him down and doing everything for him like Dial of Destiny, he's actually respected and celebrated in this film and gets to do a ton of badass stuff.
Listen to me. The world's coming after you. Stay out of my way.
And just like in Indiana Jones 5, the legacy hero teams up with a British brunette criminal.
Is this where we run?
Go, 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 go!
Probably.
For an adventure to find two halves of a MacGuffin that could change the course of history. But unlike in Indiana Jones 5, the brunette in this one is not a smug, cocky, perfect, condescending scene stealer that has a ton of flaws and awful personality traits but never has any acknowledgement in the movie and does not grow at all.
She is
Resourceful, daring, beautiful, self-sufficient.
Strike that. Reverse it.
infallible, arrogant, selfish, and soulless.
Yeah, Hayley Atwell's Grace is a criminal here, and she does betray Ethan a few times in her own interest, but from the very beginning, Grace has two things that Helena Shaw never had an ounce of: likability and self-awareness.
Harsh.
Hayley Atwell and Tom Cruise have incredible chemistry throughout the entire film, whether it's during action scenes, dialogue, or their banter.
If I tell you to run, you run.
Run. Not in these heels.
And the writing on her character goes so far in making her relatable and someone that you want to root for, even with her checkered past and the things that she has to do to get by in the film. And the best part is it never feels like she's being celebrated for this behavior. Like I said before, the film smartly gives her self-awareness and even has a few characters call her out on the shitty decisions that she makes. And that starts a journey of growth that you can see throughout the movie. It actually goes somewhere, and I can't wait to see where it goes in the next one.
I want more.
That goes for the villain Christian as well. We don't know much about him, but he steals every scene, giving a slightly toned down version of a mustache twirling villain that makes some admittedly ridiculous dialogue sound really creepy and effective, even with how well dressed and charming he is. Actually, I think that makes it more effective. Lorne Balfe's score is also fantastic, taking what's already a really exciting and well done action movie and just elevating it that much, adding an emotional punch to every single scene, getting you on the edge of your seat during the already incredible action scenes, or getting you to tear up or ponder a little bit during the emotional and slower scenes. With the real action scenes, tight script and relevant story, and great performances, you'll probably spend half of this movie holding your breath on the edge of your seat. And I know that an almost 3-hour runtime doesn't sound too fun. This movie's about 2 hours and 45 minutes, but it absolutely flies by with how well the movie is paced. I loved this movie, just like I did the last one, the one before that, the one before that, the one before that, not the one before that, and the one before that. My only two very small complaints are probably related to the pandemic because I know they were filming during it, but I did notice them and figured I should give them a mention.
Seriously?
Seriously.
The first being that, in a few spots, the script could have used a little bit of punching up. Some dialogue, especially in the first act when all the exposition is being given about the entity, is straight up goofy. This is not the norm though, and it was pretty easy to look past because once that exposition gets out, it's pretty rare. My other complaint is that I really wanted more Benji and Luther in this one. They felt pretty sidelined, especially with how much of a bigger part they got in the last two films. This, along with interesting blocking of characters in a few scenes and occasional noticeable green screen and CGI involving just characters during like scenes of dialogue, showed that they may have had to do some interesting things to be able to keep the actors safe during the pandemic and stick to guidelines, and that's unfortunate because those characters are fan favorites and I really did miss them. But hey, good news, those are the only two things I had wrong with this movie. Easily one of the best action movies since, well, Tom Cruise's last action movie. The action is real and constantly jaw-dropping, the characters are endearing and likable as ever, and actually go through arcs and journeys of their own. The story is layered and incredibly relevant regarding the AI villain. The new co-lead in Hayley Atwell is fantastic. The villains are scary, especially Pom Klementieff, who I never knew had that kind of performance in her. The film flies by with a quick and even pace. The score is fantastic, and the whole thing feels like an adrenaline rush. Oh, and the best part, knowing that it's a part 1 of part 2 movie, this doesn't have like a, aw man type of ending like Across the Spider-Verse has.
You serious?
This actually ends. Yeah, there's still a story left to be told, and we're excited to see where we go from here, but you can walk out of this movie feeling pretty satisfied. Yeah, this movie rocked, and I cannot wait to see part 2 in June. Hollywood has really been flopping lately, and the box office numbers have been having record lows, so please go see this. We need more Mission Impossible movies. Tom Cruise needs to keep doing his thing, man. And that's my review of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Thanks for watching, everybody. I've been Anthony from Awesome Anthony Productions, and if you like this review, you know what to do. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss any of my new content. While you're at it, you can also find the links to my socials in the description below. Leave a comment with your thoughts, let me know if you saw the movie and what you thought, and while you're at it, you can click or tap on these cards here. I'll take you to my review of Insidious: The Red Door, or just over to my channel where you can check out my reviews, my shorts, and my old shit. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time for my review of Oppenheimer, and then like immediately afterwards for my review of Barbie. Thanks.